Good morning, everyone, and
Good morning.
welcome to Pride Month. Today,
Yes.
yes, thank you, Eddie. Today is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, and we are thrilled that you have joined us for the Alliance's monthly webinar. And today we are going to celebrate Pride Month. My name is Christine Beck. I'm with the Illinois Self-Advocacy Alliance, and the Alliance is proud to be an initiative of the Illinois Council on Developmental Disabilities. I'd like to introduce you to our speaker, Eddie Harriel Jr., and
Hello.
also co-presenter, Hannah, and go ahead and take it away.
So my name is Eddie. Want me to start?
Yep, go ahead, Eddie.
So my name is Harriel. I am from work with Alliance for Self-Advocacy, and I work with okay. So who I am Eddie Harriel Jr. I'm black and I'm gay and black man, advocate for myself and others. Member of past groups like Proud and Fluid, on a board or rainbow groups of Massachusetts, part of the development for the LGBTQ plus AID empowerment group in Illinois. Next slide, please. What does LGBTQ plus advocate matters? LGBTQ plus community, ID community, love is love.
So it matters because some people with disabilities are part of the LGBTQ community. Some people think that LGBT people shouldn't have rights, just like some people think that people with disabilities shouldn't have rights. So we should work together to make sure everyone has rights. And that's why Eddie and I are talking about this today.
Okay, what does LGBT plus mean? L for lesbian, a woman who attracted to other women. Gay, a gay man who attracted to other men. B, bisexual person who attracted to both men and women or more than one sex or gender. Transgender person, gender identified is different than what they are was assigned at birth. Include people who are non-binary. Q or questioning. Q is umbrella term for people who we are not homosexual or cisgender. Questioning refers to people who may be unsure of their gender identified or sexual orientation. Plus, using identify all gender identified sexual orientation that are not specifically covered by the other 5 initials. Next slide, please. Okay, the gender identification is different than sexual orientation or attraction. The gender-breed person identifies, express sex and gender sexual orientation. Okay, the brain sexual identification is womenness and manness. And attraction is sexual attraction to women, feminine, and female people, and masculine, male people. Romantic attraction is women with female people, and men naturally, and sexual and expression of sex.
So your gender identity has to do with how people think about themselves, right? And sexual orientation is who you're attracted to, which is why it's the heart. Sexual expression is how a person expresses, if they choose to express more femininity or masculinity. And so gender identity, attraction, and expression are all spectrums, meaning there's a wide range of where people fall in their gender identity, who they're attracted to, and how they like to express themselves. And that may change from, year to year, day to day. That's why they call it a spectrum.
I don't have the other part on my side.
I'm sorry, say that again, Eddie.
So I don't see the part I'm about to read on my side.
Let's just pause for just a second. Sorry, the script.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to read that part, or do you want me to? I can, let's see how to do this. I could share like a split screen instead of the presentation, so people could see the slide and then they could see the script as well. So that way you could read that part. Is that okay?
Yes.
And that might also help people follow along.
Yes, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for just a second, everybody, while I set that up. So just have just a little patience with us. You'll get to see my whole computer. Let's see, let's do that. Okay. So we're gonna set this up over here, and thank you for patience with us. Eddie, are you just using your phone, or are you using your?
I'm using my iPad.
Your iPad, okay. Do you, if I would email this to you on your phone, would you be able to look at it on your phone?
Yes. I could get actually. Let me check my email. I think I still have it in my email.
Perfect. Okay.
Give me a second.
Sure, no problem. We're just going to pause here. I'll ask, does anybody have any questions about any of the terms we've talked about so far? We talk a lot about in the disability community about the alphabet soup, right? So we use a lot of acronyms, a lot of different letters. And the same thing happens within the LGBTQ plus community, where language is kind of always changing. And so we talked about what LGBTQ stands for. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yes, thank you for asking, Hannah. This is Christine, and we did have a question. The word non-binary was mentioned, and what does that mean?
Sure. Eddie, do you want me to handle that while you're still looking for your email?
Yes.
Okay. So non-binary is a term that is within what's called the transgender umbrella, right? So if someone is transgender, they might also consider themselves non-binary and vice versa. But non-binary typically means someone does not feel like they fit into what might be termed as solely a man or solely a woman, right? Like where I myself might identify as what's called a cisgender woman, meaning when I was born, I was identified to be a woman. And as I've grown up, I feel like that really represents who I am. That matches my identity. Or someone who is non-binary, they might, when they're born, they might be labeled a man or a woman, a boy or a girl. But as they have grown and, are able to figure out who they are and be able to speak to who they are, they might feel like, well, I don't just feel like a boy all the time, or I don't feel like a girl all the time. And so I don't fit into one of those binary man or woman genders. Maybe I feel like I'm both. Maybe some days I feel like I'm a man. Some days I feel more like a woman. And so it's non-binary, meaning they don't fit into this nice little box. And that's a lot of people. Does that kind of help answer that question?
I think it does. Here is another. I didn't see this on the slide, but I've heard the words gender fluid. What does that mean?
That is a great question. And so that is very similar to non-binary. So gender fluid tends to be feel more like, and this is all personal, right, to people, right? Just like maybe some days you feel like you want to use person first language, and maybe other days you want to feel like you want to use disability first language, so maybe someday I'm a person with autism, or some days I'm autistic, and that's totally okay. It's very similar in the LGBTQ community, where maybe some days you feel like I'm gender fluid, meaning I kind of go all over the spectrum within the day of maybe I feel like, oh, maybe right now I'm feeling more like, more masculine, and maybe now I'm feeling more feminine. It's very similar to non-binary. People choose the term that is best describes themselves.
I'm ready to step in.
You ready to start again? Is that what you said?
Yes. Can you start on getting?
Sure, yes. Let me go back to sharing my screen. And while I'm doing that, are there any more questions that people might have?
There is a question about allies, although I think we're going to cover that in a few minutes.
Yes.
We are. Okay. Give me just a second here. Pull that back up. You know how things are on your computer. When you close something, it kind of moves around. So give me just a second. All right. Okay. Share my screen. And resume share. Okay. So sorry about this. Now I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, and I'll get us back to our spot.
Okay.
There we go. Are you set to go, Eddie?
Yes. So
Okay.
the slide one, the should we LGBTQ wear is not easy, but someone have to wear them.
Yes. Do you want to move ahead to where we talk about allies on slide 6 in your script?
Yes. Okay. Slide 6. Okay.
There we go. Now we're on the same page.
Now that I outlined some basically different definition and information, we're gonna talk about what all can do to support your friends and family who are part of the LGBTQ plus community. We are gonna talk about some respect pronouns and respect from people name change, and how to suspect if somebody come out to you, and get education about queer history, and be aware and supportive of queer issues. Slide 2. Pronouns are part of oppression gender expression. And people can have multiple sets of pronouns for themselves. Like I say, for myself, I am gay, or he, his, and him. And some people might have she, her, them, and then some people might be his, him, or their, where they may feel they are. She or her or she. So it's all how a person might feel inside. And so, okay. And it's important to remember that not always, okay, see, people, okay. So it's important to remember that not only transgenders and non-binary people have pronouns. It's something we all use, and ever since we were little. So it's like almost like how people say boy or she, girl, like that. No, or woman. So I have it. So you can't always know what people pronouns are by looking at them. And action currently using people pronouns is one of the most base way to show your respect for gender expression. And that's true. So you cannot look at somebody and think they may be like me. I usually wear, I'm a man, and I sometimes wear female clothes or men clothes, so how I feel sometimes. But yeah. So you cannot always. So if you ask me, I tell you I'm gay or various. So you got to ask the person. So you can't always assume, because that's kind of disrespectful. So like with mine, that's before you assume somebody, you got to ask somebody. And sometimes some people are kind of out question. Also usually some friends people be out kind of be shocked. You ask them to be about just ask them what their pronouns is, and some of them might be it's like we LGBT people, we are very guarded and protect ourselves from people, our friends, family, because it's people might trying to what do I say? Kind of be like abusive. You know what I mean? So that's why. Okay. Cardi, okay. Respect their gender. If you mess up, use the wrong pronouns. The best thing is to say something right away. Something like, I'm sorry, I meant she. If you tend to have different using people pronoun practice. Okay, slide 8. Respect someone's name change. It can be tough. Okay. Respect someone's name change. It can be tough to understand somebody's name change, and it can be hard to break the habit using their former name. But if you want the person to know you, respect them, and their dedication dedication. Okay, if it is important to respect their name change, remember that it isn't always your place to ask current questions, and it isn't polite to ask them why they want to change their name, and and you shouldn't shame them into using their own name by saying things like, "But your real name was so pretty," or refer them to smart by their current name. Then even when they are not around, if you mess up, slightly apologize, correct yourself, and practice using the person correct name. So you don't call them a name they no longer use. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, coming out is a closet metaphor used to describe LGBTQ people plus people self-disclosure of their sexual orientation, gender vacation, or romantic orientation. Someone who coming out trusts you enough to be honest and risks losing you as a friend, and that's true. And friends can be difficult. It can be difficult to know what you will say, yes, and do the support friends. And here are some suggestions. Then thank your friend for have the courage to tell you, and don't judge your friends. If you have a strong religion or belief about the LGBTQ plus community, keep them to yourself at this moment. And respect your friends' confidence and allow them to share with other people when they want to. And tell your friends you still care about them. And you can ask questions, but understand that your friend may not have all the answers, but offer to be variable for your friends, and when they come out to you, and do what you have always done together with your friend partly, and coming out will change anything in your life. Have an open mind, and open heart. Do anyone have any question about slide 7, slide 7 or 8?
Yes, Eddie, this is Christine, and we do have a question.
Yes.
So what do you, or this has to do with the pronouns.
Yes.
And the question was this: how do you ask people what their pronouns are? You mentioned don't assume just because someone dresses as a man or dresses as a woman that their pronouns are she or he or him or her. So how do you ask people what their pronouns are?
I would say if they in a public place, then you probably want because you want to say, can I talk to you? And so it's like I would say if people like if you feel if they're your friend or family, then you might ask them, and make sure you have to scoot them to the side because people don't want to tell what they are in front of people in crowds because they nervous. So you got to ask them and say, "What's your pronouns?" And then if the person trust you enough to tell your pronoun, then they will tell you their pronouns. But if but sometimes about what they may be, if what the person may feel comfortable with. So you may not, they might let tell you, then it depends how you are. So if you friend or family, or so let's say like sometimes people sometimes they don't trust their family about pronouns and how they are, but just like, but if they you ask them tell what's your pronoun, and they say she, her, wherever, and just say thank you. But just know that people in LGBT community are very, it's like we are very sensitive about certain things, and it's like understand that if there's it started like back in history, so that's why we are very sensitive about a lot of stuff, and we don't just tell who we are from people because it's like a lot of backlies that we get at so if a person tell you what they pronounce, then say thank you, because it's scared. Okay, if you tell somebody your pronoun, they might feel it's not how some people might feel about people that's who's they say they she or her or transgender. People might feel backlash. So
okay, thank you. I have 2 more questions that have come in on, I don't know if it was the previous slide now, where the pronouns were listed, and towards the end there was a pronoun, yes, the N, the EY, EM, EIR. And the question is, how do you pronounce those words?
they are the they, them, and there. And sometimes the pronoun probably a little different, but it's this be like see the this is like there, and the EY is they, and the EM is them.
Oh, so it's kind of shorthand.
Yes.
Right.
So sometimes like she, sometimes it's like you split, if you turn the number, the letter backwards should be somewhere else. So that you put like he, him, or his. Sometimes you put the E or R, and then this is how different names. Like trying to make turn the word, make it work. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I add to that, Christine? Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
So it's like like Eddie said, it's very similar to they, them, their, and it's like you would take the TH off of each of those words. So A, M, air, instead of they, them, their.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I don't personally know anybody that uses those pronouns, but they're becoming, more prevalent. And like I said, pronouns can always change.
All right. Here's another question, and I wrote it down. I am a disability service provider. When someone first comes for services, should I be asking what their pronouns are or what they'd like to be called?
Yes. It's very helpful. For me, though, how my cue asked me how I feel, and I was able to feel well. For me, I was able to tell somebody, but I don't think a lot of people be the question because you have to trust you. It's all about trust. But me, I
Oh,
know
okay.
I'll be honest with myself. But some people might be different, so they may not say it right away. You have to be trust, you know.
Ooh, I like that. So the answer to the question is ask. And what I'm hearing from you, Eddie, is, we have to build this trust. And should then the service provider ask maybe annually if anything has changed, or should they just be open to having a conversation when it happens?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, if a person tell you that what they are, then be safe. No, like I say, again, say thank you for coming out to me and sharing your pronouns, because like you tell somebody something that's personal to you, so it's like you open yourself up to questions that people might ask. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so and people have to be really be asked the question. People, why, answer people. Some people might ask, "No, are you gay? Are you sure you gay, or where are you? You know what I mean?"
Thank you. Thank you. That's very helpful for this
can I add on to that one as
service
well,
provider.
Christine?
Yes.
Is that okay? Christine, is it okay if I add on to that one too?
If Eddie is fine with it,
Sure.
yes.
Okay, great. So, working at a service provider myself, I think, like Eddie said, it's all about building trust. And so when I have initial meetings with people, or when anybody in our office does, we make sure that we talk about, what our values are at Community Choices. And so then what people can expect from us, which includes being treated as they would want to be treated, that we are an LGBTQ affirming, organization, and we talk about those things. And then I might typically say something like, so, I'm Hannah, my pronouns are she, her. If you want to share yours with me, you're totally welcome to, or if you want to wait, and that's fine too, but just know that that's a conversation I'm always willing to have. And then by normalizing that, like, I continue to share my pronouns, and we let people know that that's important here, that starts to build some of that trust.
Right.
So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, slide 10, please. Okay. Everything you can do is educate yourself about queer history, and I'm going to outline a few majestic history events in the LGBTQ plus community, and talk about a few events that you should learn more about, and give you a list of celebrities you may not know that are all of the LGBTQ community. Slide 11, please. Some of the important events and legalized dates in the LGBTQ history are on this slide. This is by no means our as specious list, but just some of our thoughts were notable. Some people don't know that gay men were put in notable commutation camps in the World War II. And the fact that the upside down pink triangle symbol was used in the camp to identify them is late years. The symbol was reclaimed by the gay community as a symbol of pride and activism. Okay. The Stonewall Uprising in Greenville Village happened in 1969. Popularity of the Stonewall and other lesbian gay bars and fought back when the police who raided the bar and become violent. The Stonewall uprising is considered the event of that transform of the 20th century fight for the LGBTQ rights in the US. In 1970, the first Gay Pride Liberty March was held on 1 year anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. Former President Bill Clinton declared June Gay and Lesbian Pride Month. Let's see what year is that? And let's see, that was in 1999. And in 2014, the state of Illinois legalized same-sex marriage in 2015. And same-sex marriage is legalized nationwide. And in 2022, the current president, Biden, signed Respect for Marriage Act, which is a federal mandate request federal records of same-sex marriage. And the act was passed. But to protect federal rights in the LGBT plus community. So do anyone have any question for slide 11 and slide 10? Well, slide 10 of slide 11.
Yes, Eddie, I just want to say we had a comment come in that I didn't know that the pink upside down triangle that was put onto the uniforms or the clothing of gay men during World War II that's where the pink triangle came from.
Yes.
So the person said, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Slide 10, slide 12, please. Okay. James Baldwin was a gay Black man who grew up in Harlem in the 1930s and the 40s. He published his first book in 1953. Baldwin wrote and helps raise the awareness of the racialness and sexual demonstration in the United States and analyzed experienced by minority groups. In 2016, Baldwin's unfinished last manuscript was made into a popular dominance. And I am not your Negro about Bowen's experience in the civil rights movement. Any questions about Jane Baldwin? Okay, then slide 3. Slide 13. Marshall P. Johnson was an important activist, but some people unheard of the outside of the LGBTQ plus committee. But within our committee, she is a very famous activist. She was a transgender and a self-proclaimed drag queen. Marsha was one of the important figures in the Stonewall Uprising of 1969. And though some have mistaken and credit her for starting the riot, Johnson was always the forthcoming about the having and being. But she was not the riot began, but joined in when she arrives. Marsha and other transgender women and of color, Sylvie River, founder of Star, was an activist organization that worked to help homeless transgenders and gender non-conformed people. Okay, slide 14, please. Finally, Bill Porter's is the current Emmys, Tommy Award went after, and you may not have seen his work on TV and movies and on Broadway. Billy speaks to the LGBTQ plus community about not forgetting about Pearl's doing the pride. It is important to get in. It's important to get involved in politics at all levels. Locally, politics can impact LGBTQ plus people in their days, and that's true. The day the activists live. Okay, slide 15. Here are some past and current celebrities who are, or you may not have known, was a part of the LGBTQ plus community. All of these singers are proud to be and speak about it public. For the late Fred Mercy and the diva Miss Madonna, Etta John, the Lupa Banjos, Cedar Lupa, Joyce Michael, and Lady Gaga and Little Richard. Okay, slide. And more Billy Christie and Andrew Lambert and Frank Ocean, Rick Frida and Sam Smith and Johnny Monet and Lil Nas and Demi Lovato and Ricky Martin. Slide 7, please. Slide 17, please. Okay. You can also learn about what issues are currently affected in the LGBTQ plus community. Support your friends and family, with your votes is important. In 2022, there was a recorded number of 23.8 bill induced that would be limit to the rights of the LGBTQ plus people at the state level. They seem to be convinced, trying to fight against the issue won in past years. States are passing restrictions of gender affirming healthcare, which means that transgenders and non-binary people ain't being seen as full human beings. And as a result of those athlete LGBT plus laws, the suicide rates are as high and among the LGBTQ plus community. That's definitely true. Slide 18. There are some reasons why Pride Month is important. We have Pride Month all year long, but June is a Pride Month where the rest of the country celebrate their LGBTQ plus friends and family. TV show, business, the news, and social gender future, the LGBT celebrity, movies, books, and applause, and more. It's the time where our people can learn about the LGBTQ history, and we can learn from each other. Lots of communities have Pride Parade, but the ones in Chicago is huge. It is a holiday where the LGBTQ people can be their true self, and it's a chance to shine, and people celebrate us. Love and love, and I'm happy that I could share this with you today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Eddie. We have a couple more questions.
Okay.
All right. The first is, how can I help make our agency a safe and inclusive space for all people?
I think it'd be have somebody. I assume most agencies they're not most people they're not part of LGBT community, right? So I think it's important to have somebody who probably work for who are like. I think for me, I think I would look up to someone who are like myself and who identify as who I am, because I think I could learn a lot from somebody who's like me and who like what I like, because it won't be the judgment, you know what I mean? And they feel it, and sometimes we have someone that's too part of the LGBT community can learn a lot of stuff and like learn stuff that people from learn a lot of stuff. How to pronounce is important, and how to find your how find your personality and how you to be yourself and a resource. Cause I assume like some people I sure like people who part of the who not coming don't know the resource that we need for us. So we need like different healthcare stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're gonna go down this this role, you got to be there would be action. We have to use protection, and if you go, go to the right, it's the safe way to do things, and support them. Just say thank you for coming out to me, and be just to be supportive. Say thank you for coming out. Thank you to be myself, because people, we need a lot of support, and even people that you not popular, they say thank you. We love you, because that, and support them to say thank you for coming out to me and be yourself, and to give them, like, and just be real. We are people, and we just need people to treat us like we human beings. Just like in the past, that say that people don't think we are human beings. We are our feelings. What y'all say can definitely impact us. You say anything negative that can really affect us mentally and physically, and it can definitely mess with our mentally. And some people who don't get a lot of support maybe lead to suicide and other things that's not healthy. So we definitely don't want that. So if you give them more support to say thank you, coming out to me, and this be real,
Thank you for that, Eddie. And I encourage anyone else who has a question, a comment, or a consideration to go ahead and type it into the chat box, and we will read that. I got another question. How do I let people know that I am an ally? So again, that's a great question.
Yes. I think it's saying, so I say we are, for me as a person, I'm kind of nervous, but when you say you are allies, you can't say you're an ally, you have to show that you're an ally. It's more that people say you ally, you have to show it. So if I come to you from love thing, you'll be supporting, say, okay, teach me how to do some things if I come to ask you things. And don't be so, how people who's not supported be, the opposite of what people want. I lie.
All right. So it sounds like, Eddie, what you're saying is you can't just say you're an ally. You have to do something and show something. Okay.
Yes, you got to take us to the pride, do stuff that we might enjoy doing, like take us to pride stuff and learn about history and drawing music. Say, you look cute sometimes, You have beautiful makeup, stuff like that, So that can boost our confidence,
Thank you for that. Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments or considerations? Hold on. Here's one that just came in, and the person said they missed Stonewall was the first kind of event. Where did that happen? Where did that happen?
The Stonewall in 1970. The Stonewall uprising in Greenwood happened in 1969.
Okay.
In Greenwich Village.
Okay,
yes.
So in New York. Okay,
yes.
All right. Yes. That's the person was asking. They knew about Stonewall, didn't know, was that San Francisco, which I think many people might assume as being a place of some uprising, but thank you. Person said thank you. New York. Okay.
You're welcome.
Oh, here's another one. Is there a movie or a TV show that you would recommend that someone may watch to help them understand a little bit more if they don't know someone who is LGBTQ?
Well, that'd be easy. Well, Netflix right now has a lot of LGBT stuff right now. A lot of stuff.
Okay.
Be very healthy.
All right. And
so
if you have Netflix.
And different LG, and I think this you gotta look at people. You gotta look up different stuff like that. You gotta look on.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna say Moonlight is a real great. It's based on a real life story about spirit as a gay man and black man. That'd be a great movie to watch.
So it's called Moonlight?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that recommendation, and that there's shows on Netflix in celebration of Pride Month, but maybe you just have to do some Googling and searching.
Mhm.
Okay. But it sounds like, Eddie, you recommend just getting to know people, having
Mhm.
that relationship and trust and respect.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have any more questions or comments to share? All right. I'm
I
checking.
just have one more comment to
Yes.
share. That's cool. So, one of the ways I think that agencies can, show that they're affirming and that that's a safe place to be, and even show that, you personally are an ally, is to get connected with any sort of local resources, like the LGBTQ community groups that might be in your area. Like usually they might be like by county or by Chicago, like in Chicago, there's quite a few. They might be by city, but connecting with them so that then that you have a place to refer people to if they're looking for people to connect with, or then you're just in the know more about like maybe what's happening in Pride Month within your community or issues that are happening, is a great way to build partnerships and connections and create not just a safe agency, but an even more safe community for folks who have disabilities and are LGBTQ.
Thank you for that. And I will mention that the Alliance has a commitment, and part of our project, there is an LGBTQ plus empowerment program. And Eddie and Hannah are very much involved in that program. And would either of you like to say just a couple of words about what you're working on as it relates to that program?
Do you want to start, Eddie, or do you want me to take that?
Yeah, I can do it. I say we have great members with it. It's like me, Hannah, and other people that are part of the group. It's like a team player. It's coming along pretty good too. We all meet every other Wednesday and come up with plans. So it's coming good. Everybody working on different projects to bring this come together. So it's gonna be a major thing. So when it's done, we are able to share that information for everybody. So we still at the beginning of the process.
Yeah, so like Eddie said, we meet, there's a small group of us who are meeting and planning some empowerment group curriculums. So one track is for folks with who are LGBTQ and also have intellectual or developmental disabilities. And the other track is for folks who are LGBTQ and are neurodiverse or autistic. And people can kind of pick which track they might fit into, where they feel more comfortable. But we're developing like a 10-week curriculum for each empowerment group. And once it is done, we plan to start groups that meet through Zoom, kind of based off of your location and area. So we're starting right now within probably central Illinois, just because that's where most of us are located and have connections. And then we hope to expand by connecting with different agencies and LGBTQ community groups to then have different more localized groups throughout the state. So then folks can meet through Zoom, and then hopefully, if we organize it by area, we can also meet in person at different points throughout the year. And talking with Christine and the Alliance and each other, it just seems like it's really hard for folks with disabilities who are LGBTQ to connect to each other, especially when you don't live in Chicago, because there's just face it, more people in Chicago. But when you live maybe outside of Chicago, there's just not as many people to create some of those like in-person support groups or within an agency, even like maybe there's only one or two people, and so being able to connect to other folks through Zoom, I think is going to be really great. So like Eddie said, it's going really well. We just met last week. And so if that's something you're interested in, you can definitely contact Christine or me or Eddie. And right now we're still in the building curriculum stages, but we hope to then get those groups started, hopefully like late fall, early 2024.
All right. Here was the last question. The person said, I've been looking at these pictures on the screen and it looks like some parades or celebration. So do you have to be a person who is LGBTQ to go to these events, or are they open for everyone?
I could say I see. I've been in Pride. There's some people who not part they go too. So it's not just for us. It's for those people who's not part of it either. But you know.
Absolutely. Like, so as an ally, I find like centering people in their voices who are LGBTQ is more important when you go to these events, right? So I usually take a back seat. But I think part of showing you're an ally is attending these events and celebrating people and being part of just the community, the broader community in general. Like letting people have their own space, because everybody needs that to commune with folks who are like them and similar to them. But like Pride is a celebration of everybody who is LGBTQ. And so I think it's totally okay for allies to go. Just remember that it's not always about you. It's about the LGBTQ community.
Right. Thank you for that. I don't see any further questions or comments. And so thank you, Eddie, for your experience, your expertise in sharing this information, and for being part of the Alliance's LGBTQ empowerment program, and for Hannah for being an amazing ally. Thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to you checking out other videos on our Alliance YouTube channel. You can find us on Facebook at Illinois Self-Advocacy Alliance. You can find us on YouTube at Illinois Self-Advocacy Alliance. You can also check out our website at www.selfadvocacyalliance.org. Everybody have a fabulous day, and let's continue to celebrate everyone, especially the LGBTQ plus community during Pride Month. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.